nutritious compost for acid-loving plants, 4 months feed, enriched with iron, West technology. There you go. But we will have a look to see if there is any other makes of it around. Okay, so I'm going to purchase one of these. So this will be part of the growing medium for the blood orange tree that we're going to set. I'm not massively generally into purchasing things like this. I'd much rather make it myself, but because I don't have any that I've made myself at the moment, I'm going to purchase this. So it's £5.50, which, you know, £5.50, but it should do to get the plant going. Okay, so quite a fast-paced video today. We're going to be setting some trees. We've got a walnut tree there, which was grown from a nut, unsurprisingly. Now, the tree that this originally came from, or the nut came from, no longer stands. So one good thing about it is this is kind of, the seed was set, the nut was set probably about 5 or 6 years ago, something like that, and the tree now has made a good size. It's been confined to this pot. Of course, it's stunted its growth quite considerably, but what I want to do is to put it in a new pot and see how it does. I'm going to make a proper growing medium, much more nutritious, and hopefully the tree will thrive. Now, the land here is not big enough to put this in the ground, so it's going to remain in the pot, which means it's very unlikely that it will fruit. But who knows? It'd be interesting to produce some nuts in a pot, but we shall see what happens, so we'll crack on with that. So what we're doing now is repotting this walnut tree. Now, I've got a mystery tree to do later on, and all will be revealed in a few minutes with that. So what I'm going to do is take this off. So you see that here? Watch this. And I'm going to break this up and use this as drainage stones. Right, so I've got my, I think it's a 35 litre pot, and what I'm going to do is proceed to put this walnut tree in it. So what we're going to do in it is put a little bit of multi-purpose compost. I do like multi-purpose, spoke about it before. Doesn't cost too much, and it's nice and light, and it's going, some of it is going to go in here. That'd be quite intriguing, growing this walnut tree in here. Now, I'm aware of a variety called Broadview, which is apparently a more sort of dwarf variety of walnut. I've never seen a Broadview tree, nor do I know anybody who has one. So if you're out there and you have a Broadview walnut tree, let me know, because apparently they are a more compact tree and can be grown in smaller gardens. But as I stated, I have no experience of this. So what I'm going to do, just get a bit more multi-purpose compost. Now, if you are endeavouring to grow a walnut tree in a pot, you want to use the largest possible pot that you can get. So I'm just going to lift this up and put it in here. Not a bad estimate actually. Now, I'm going to leave these bulbs and bits and bobs in here because I don't mind them actually. So here we are like this. We've got the big root there, and what I'm going to do is put some multi-purpose compost around it, just like this. Try and get it down the sides. Now, I might even, because I'm still undecided where this tree is going to go, I don't want to put it in a massive pot. If I decide there's a permanent place that I'm 100% sure I want it, I might even invest in a massive pot and endeavour to transfer it, leave it there as sort of a permanent place for it. But at the moment I'm undecided, so I don't want the pot to be ridiculously heavy to move, so that's why it's going in here. I'm just ferment it in here. They say that walnuts are good for one's brain, so it might be a, you know, they say it could help with one's intelligence, like a brain food. And the fact that it looks like a brain, some people say that that could be indicative of it. Who knows? But the oils, etc., are meant to be good for intelligence. So, you know, walnuts containing protein and oils, and I'd imagine vitamins as well. Be even better if I can proceed to produce some in a pot, but I'm certainly not expecting to do that too much. But it would be nice. Walnut also, if you're into wood, can be very good for turning apparently as well, making table legs and chair legs and handles for various things, maybe walking sticks as well. So a nice wood. And as the original tree, where the nut came from for this tree, no longer exists, or at least not in its original form, I think it might coppice every year because it was cut all the way down, but it doesn't, certainly nothing even close to what it was before. So it's so nice, and it might even come out completely one day if the person decides, who knows. But so there we go. What I'm going to do is give this tree, in fact I'm going to give it a bit more compost like that, a bit more as well. Going to give this a good water, and we shall see just how it does. I mean, you can see the height of it, including the pot. It's over 6 foot, so I'm quite, you know, and you can see how much it grows. Like this, just this bit of growth from last year, and since it's broke dormancy this year, I've had this much growth. So you can more or less see from year to year. So that would have been the first, and then probably the second to about here, and it's just proceeded to grow. So plenty of water, plenty of sunshine. Hopefully this tree will do well. Right, so what we're going to do now is to pot up the mystery tree. But before I reveal what the tree is, we're going to make the growing medium. Now, the tree that is going to go in this pot doesn't like the moisture too much around the roots for too long. It likes it to drain away freely from the roots. Now what we've got here is a little bit of stone, flint, and as you saw earlier, a bit of the old clay from the pot that was on the walnut tree. So what we're going to do is just to bulk it up a bit without, you know, just to give us a bit more bulk, we're going to put just a little bit of garden soil in the bottom. We're just going to put 2, and it'll also give it a bit of weight. So we're going to put a bit of that in. And look at this, look. Worm. Hey. Where'd I put the scissors, Dad? Oh.
Pass.
Come on. It was the pen the other day, it's the scissors today.
Use your hands.
Well, I can't, can I? I've got to cut that.
Use your teeth.
Oh, there they are. Right. Okay. Right. Scissors are here. So let's open up the mystery tree. Whoa! It's well packaged. Don't mind this straw being on it. It's a nice idea. Whoa! Any guesses yet? See the leaves? There you go. It's a blood orange tree. Citrus sinensis. Blood red tinged oranges have rich blood red flesh, heavy cropping, self-fertile. Can be grown outside during the summer but requires frost protection during the winter months. So let's see what we've got. Yeah. It's even got little oranges on it. See them, look. Quite impressive. Right, we've got to endeavour to take this plastic off. Now, purchased the Ericaceous feed earlier on, so, but I'd imagine that this is Ericaceous compost. Now, Ericaceous, it means that the plant likes acidic soil. So, if you've been following me for a while, you know that quite often I like to put wood ash in my growing mediums, but I won't be putting any in here because wood ash, it has an alkalizing or alkalining effect, whatever the word is. So I won't be using that. There are many things you can use, you can apply to soil to help make it more acidic. One is coffee ground. So if you know someone who's got a calf, really good, they'll often just, you won't have to pay for it, you'll often just be able to get rid of it. You know, you can just go and take it, with their permission of course. And another option you can use is composted oak tree leaves. So if you've got a wood near you, providing of course you've got permission to take the leaves or whatever, and yeah, you can use composted oak tree leaves to help make Ericaceous compost. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. There we go. So it's going to sit about there in this pot. Yeah, that'll be fine. And what we're going to do is use some Ericaceous compost around it. So let's get the Ericaceous compost out. And proceed to put it around the roots. Another plant that likes Ericaceous composted soil is blueberries. And we're going to put that round there like that. Firm it down nice. Quite intriguing to see how this does. And just hold your horses uno momento. We're going to put just a little bit of Ericaceous feed in there. This will do until I can make some of my own growing medium. There we go. What we're going to do is just pull that up a little bit and get that right under, because you don't want to be covering the bottom too much. See where the root comes from, to about there. So let's get some soil nice and firm. You don't want air holes. Look at that. Cool, we're just walking this in here, trying not to slip a disc. Okay, so I'm just applying some water to this beautiful orange tree. Not going to do it all in one go. I'm going to do a bit and let it absorb. Been getting rather warm in this polytunnel, which is a good thing. This lovely tree is going to stay in here, and well, look at that. Look, I might have to cover that with a bit more bit of compost there, but never mind. I was going to get some more later on. Yeah, it's going to stay in here, although probably in June, July, August, maybe September, you know, it can go outside. But I want to keep it in here to make the most of the extra warmth, because generally citrus trees are classed as a Mediterranean or like a Southeast Asian tree, so generally different climates there. But yeah, so let's give you a little bit about this tree. Now, I purchased this tree from Victoriana Nursery Gardens, got it mail order, and it was £39.95 for the tree, £48.90 including delivery, which I didn't think's that bad, because it is a nice tree, and the delivery was prompt. I only ordered it probably less than a week ago, and here it is, so quite happy. So it states on here Citrus sinensis and blood orange, and the blood orange is a natural mutation of the orange, which in itself is a hybrid, probably between a pomelo and a tangerine. So yeah, blood orange, sweet flavour with a hint of raspberry, and in the northern hemisphere matures in February, and the fruits can remain on the tree until April. Orange fruit with multiple blood coloured streaks, and the blood orange was discovered in Spain in 1929. Has a reddish skin, few seeds, sweet and tender flesh. And they believe that blood oranges may have originated in either China or the southern Mediterranean. So all sorts of interesting facts if you want to do a bit of research on them. They've got a red pigment which contains anthocyanin, which is an antioxidant, and it contains greater amounts than other oranges due to the pigments. So yeah, and on a practical level, with regards to this, it's self-fertile, so that means it can produce fruit from its own pollen, which is good, particularly when it's being kept in a polytunnel or a greenhouse, because it's less likely that pollinating insects will come in to do it for you. So that's a good thing. And obviously it requires winter frost protection, but I would expect that. So I'll be deciding, you know, what I'm going to do in that regard when the time comes. Maybe I'll wrap it. I'll probably keep it, well, if I keep it in here, I'll probably have to wrap it. I might even take it inside. I might even, you know, have some sort of wooden shed by then with glass windows that will allow this light to come in. But they do need a lot of light, even in the winter months, so some care will have to be taken. Lovely and evergreen, fragrant flowers, spineless, and obviously ideally requires a warm climate. If kept outside, it requires a temperature of around 13 to 29 degrees C, which is 55 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. And if it's kept inside, as I stated before, it will require a lot of light. So it's 18 degrees C temperature, 65 degrees Fahrenheit. But as I stated before, they do require light. So we shall see what's going to happen. And what I'm going to do is probably put the pot on some bricks, because they like the moisture to get away from the roots quickly. So a bit of care, and you know, I'm sure I'll learn. I'm new to growing citrus. I owned a lemon tree a few years ago, but I want to get into citrus, and what I'm trying to do is to build my own knowledge and have some more variety. So I'm going to be, over the next year or so, hopefully purchasing some more exotic trees. As you know, I've got the peach behind, which is, you know, one could class it as an exotic tree, and we've got the usual stuff like the cherries and the apples, the plums and the pears. But going to certainly be building up an exotic repertoire, so let's see how we do on that. So we were talking a little bit about the exotics. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm relatively proud of this Dixie Red peach tree, and it's cropped heavily the last few years, and I've featured it quite a lot on this channel, because a lot of people, you know, they don't do so well with peaches because of peach leaf curl, and I've done multiple videos on that in the past about preventing peach leaf curl, so I'm not going to go into that. If I remember, what I'll do is I'll link the video down below, how to prevent peach leaf curl, and it's very important that you take steps to prevent that. But just for a bit of inspiration, if you want to call it that, if you want to get into growing peaches, which I do recommend if you avoid peach leaf curl, you can see that there's lovely little peaches all over this tree. We've got nice little cluster here, so there's about 7 there. Now what I could do is thin them out if I wanted, in order to have less peaches, but they'll be larger, or I can just do what I normally do, which is let nature take its course and let them, you know, get to the size that they naturally get to. That's probably what I'll do, because I don't, you know, a nice big peach is all right, but loads of small ones are good as well. But all over the tree, like here, we've got some more there, and we've got some down here, and some over here, and basically, to be honest, they're everywhere really on the tree, here, there and everywhere, but they're not on this side of it, which is interesting and very good. There's no actual sign of peach leaf curl yet, so I'm very happy about that, and it's actually putting out some new growth already. So there's some from here up to here, there to there, and all over the tree, plenty of new growth. So hopefully we'll have a very peachy year coming up from the Dixie Red. Next video will be probably some planting out, either on the kitchen garden or down the allotment, and it needs to happen really, because it's getting quite inundated with seedlings in here. In fact, they're not really seedlings anymore, they're more like plants. But we've got plenty of runner beans, we've got tomatoes, and I'll just show you here, got plenty of these. We've got green bush marrows, sorry, green bush courgettes, and inside we have absolutely loads, and I mean loads, of Marketmore cucumbers, which are very good because I set loads and probably overcompensated a bit after the mice ate all the original seeds. So yeah, plenty of exciting things to come, and the tomatoes are looking pretty impressive as well, which goes on to the final section of today's video, which is to have a look at the tomatoes that I set out the other day. Right, okay, so here we are with the tomatoes that I set the other day, and as you know, I applied these because we didn't have a frost, so to speak, but we had some relatively chilly weather on the way and a lot of hard rain and winds as well predicted. So let's see if my wind, rain and frost protection worked. It's rather primitive, and I'm very fond of these buckets, if you've not worked it out already. Let's have a look at this one. Yep, that one's still good. That's Moneymaker. Here, yep, another one. That one's not as impressive, and that is variety Sweet Million. But I've got loads of these tomato plants, so I'm not particularly worried. So hopefully these will do okay. Hopefully won't get any more frosts. Good weather predicted for the next 2 weeks. So, and hopefully after that, frost will be out of the way and we can press on. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you enjoyed my work, please like, share and subscribe. And I will see you next time for some planting out and some more gardening fun.